Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation on subspecie aeternitatis. I'm not totally sure I'm pronouncing that right because I couldn't find an actual verbal pronunciation guide, but according to all the phonetics, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Phonetics being from Merriam-Webster. But yeah, tell me if I'm not, please. The first thing we're going to start out with, obviously, is a definition. Like, what the heck does subspecie aeternitatis mean? And it essentially means, and this is not directly correlated to Spinoza yet, it essentially means to look at things with an eternal perspective. A lot of people have taken it to mean an objective perspective, though that is a very loose interpretation. And it's not used by very many philosophers because it's not totally congruent to the original Latin. But yes, essentially it means looking at the past and the future, and not just the present, and being able to factor in all the variables to find the absolute best answer through philosophical reasoning. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Spinoza and his relationship to subspecie aeternitatis. His definition was closer to saying that subspecie aeternitatis meant that there were actually universal, constant truths of the universe that could be found through philosophical and theological reasoning. Essentially, Spinoza started this idea, though there were a lot of other philosophers that latched onto it, and he thought that there were Euclidean-like truths in the universe of philosophy, if only people would look for them with an eternal perspective. He believed that he could actually prove things through philosophical reasoning, so long as he engaged in subspecie aeternitatis. I'm not sure if saying engaged in subspecie aeternitatis is right, because it's Latin, but you get my point. And this relates pretty simply to the story of the Spinoza of Market Street, because subspecie aeternitatis was actually related to the very end. I know it came up earlier, but it comes up in the situation where Dr. Fischelson is angry with himself. And it actually correlates pretty simply. Dr. Fischelson was angry with himself because he was seeing through the present narrow view of a man's perspective rather than the all-encompassing eternal perspective that Spinoza always told people to strive for. Spinoza essentially didn't want action unless you were sure of it. And Dr. Fischelson, taking this action and marrying Dobby, wasn't sure of it. He didn't know what he was doing. And because of that, he knew that he wasn't looking at life through an eternal perspective. He was in no way engaging in subspecie aeternitatis, and he knew that. He knew it was kind of a letdown to Spinoza. So yeah, that's the end of all the definitions and the relationship between subspecie aeternitatis and the Spinoza of Market Street. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Here are my citations, and I will see you next time. Thank you.